thinking, "Oh, I've probably made a mistake here." You're thinking,
from that angle that the referee saw, he couldn't see De Ligt pull him, and the foul was on De Ligt. So,
which makes me believe that the referee didn't give the penalty for shirt pulling, because if he had seen the shirt pull, he would have said, "Hang on, no, I saw a shirt pull, not that."
That's a good point.
So it makes me believe that the referees bought the dive as if it was a trip.
Right.
But that's what VAR are there for, to assist him.
Mike, you need to get a show on this, man.
I know.
The problem is he hasn't got one for 3 weeks. Oh, dearie me. Right, OK, we are 1 down, as you can tell, with so many talking points. 2-2 at Goodison.
It was a crazy end to the game, a completely different second half to the first half that we saw. First of all, talk us through what you saw with that penalty decision right at the end.
No, I think it's a soft touch. It was not from what I saw. I don't like to talk, especially when the game is finished in a few minutes, but I think it was a soft penalty. It was clear.
Are you pleased with the point?
If you start the game without the first half and losing 2-0, it's a good point. But we need to win 3 points and we need to play all the game.
Is that the most disappointing part, the fact that you managed to find yourself in a position to be 2 goals down heading into the second half?
Of course, but that is not the worst part. The worst part is that we have the free men. We are losing ball without any pressure. I mean, we are not doing what's supposed to do, and then it's really hard. And then we suffered 2 goals in second balls, and that was clear that they will create that chances by second balls. We were soft.
How do you go about fixing those problems that you're seeing?
In training, we continue to do the same. That's why in the second half we didn't change nothing. We have to do the same thing, but in a good way.
The 2 goals that were scored today both came from set pieces. Is scoring goals in the team still an issue for you?
Yes, not just scoring goals, but also create a lot of chances. We have to improve on that. But last game also we had chances. This game also we struggle with scoring goals.
Everyone can see that you so desperately want to make a success at Manchester United. Why haven't you been able to do that consistently so far with the results?
I don't know. If I know, I will change it. We have to continue to think in the next game, and everything we do during the week, we have to use it in the game. And if we do that, we are near to win games like we did in the second half. If we don't, we are not going to win.
How can you make this team better then between now and the end of the season?
In this moment, we need to focus on day by day. We need to survive this season. That is clear, and then to think ahead. But we have so many problems, and then when you go to the game and we let the time pass, it's really hard. Of course, I don't want to say just the negative part. The second half was so much better, and you believe, and in the end, I think we were near to win this game also.
Thanks, Ruben.
Thank you.
To the game, do you feel like you were let off the hook a bit with that penalty decision?
No. The referee said the hand was very close from the body, so there's nothing to do with that. We had our chances in the second half, but the problem is we start the game too late. We gave it away in the first half. I think we didn't have enough movement. We were too static, and it was difficult to create some situations. We did create with some 1-2s and stuff like that, but we need to start the games better. We know that. We spoke in the half-time that we can, every time that we concede a goal and we are down, is the only time when we start and we think that now we can take a little bit more risk. Now we can go forward. Now we can pass forward. We need to start the game like that because we are in a situation where we have to win games and create chances to score goals.
It was a fight back, though. You've managed to come away from Goodison Park with a point. What was the key to turning the game around?
To stick to the plan. That's what the manager was very upset with us. To try to stick with the plan that we had during the season, to make it work. Even if the things were not going well, we have to stick to what our ideas are, and that's what we did in the second half with much more freedom, much more movement. But as I said, we are 2-0 down. You have nothing to lose, so you start to get more into the game.
Just 15 points from a possible 45 under Ruben Amorim. Are you as players feeling like you're making any improvements?
No, of course you feel it, but the results don't say that. And obviously this club is all about results, and we know that. We are aware of that. We need to be aware of the position we are in the table, and you have to do much more. We have to do much more all together. Me for first. Everyone has to get to lift the standards of each other and try to push each other to end the season in the best way possible.
Brilliant free kick, and today you're the player of the match. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Beto and someone else of real height. I think you've just got to take your chance. They're going to jump. If he could get it over them, the goalkeeper's not going to get blamed. Yeah, you can see it, Braithwaite there. I think it's O'Brien and Beto. If you're going to go over that wall, good luck to you. But you should not be leaving that side. I think he tried to gamble on it. He tried to gamble on where Bruno's going to put that.
Yeah, nowadays more than ever, you've just got to stay and protect your side. You know what they call them? Draft excluders or something that lie below. Yeah. You've got somebody lying there. You've got 6'5" people jumping as well. It's virtually impossible nowadays to get up over a wall from so close. The one thing, I know Keepers Union is next to me, but the one thing you can't do is vacate that big area. It's a huge error from
especially with Bruno. Bruno on that ball. He's going to take advantage of that.
And 8 minutes later, Manuel Ugarte, who's obviously been bought as a holding midfield player, and that's his role. That's why it's only his 5th senior career goal, his first United one, but he took it well, didn't he?
Well, the way he took it, you'd be surprised when somebody said he's only scored 5 goals in his career, because this was a lovely first touch, anticipated it, and kept it down. Yeah. Almost put a little bit of fade on it. Some people think he miskicked it slightly, but the way he's stretching for it, it's the only way you can hit it, really, and it just fades away from Pickford. That's a beautiful goal.
Yeah, it's lovely. Lovely the way he took the control.
Who's down there? I mean, somebody's just down on the haunches. He would have got to him if he wasn't sitting on the floor on the edge of the box.
It was Braithwaite in the end.
Was it?
Just couldn't quite recover.
Tailed off in that second half.
Well, I think
the energy of the first half.
I think there's this myth in football that you're a pressing team. No team can press for 90 minutes. So they came out of the traps. They were right against it. United found it hard. But ultimately, if you can get through that, you can wear teams down, because it's hard to press. Now, there might have been a point in time where you get some subs on and then put the energy back up. But ultimately, again, credit to United in the second half.
But ultimately, he's had 7 Premier League games in charge and he lost 1 of them, David Moyes.
It's still a good draw in the end at home. Obviously, being up 2-0, it's not. But at home against United, it is.
And we just heard from Ruben Amorim, he just wants to go back to that training pitch and keep trying to improve and start the game like they ended it.
Yeah. I mean, at half-time, I thought, well, do you, really? I mean, there's nothing really improving from anything at the moment. But that second half will breathe a little bit of life back into that. United deserved the second half.
Well, the former Manchester United captain and Premier League winner Ashley Young at the centre of all this, and the Everton club captain Seamus Coleman getting involved as well, righty. Temperatures are rising here.
Yeah. I think Ashley's really disappointed about that. I think it was very... You know, there was a lot of history on it in his dive, but we saw, I think his shirt got pulled twice. You know, it did look really over dramatic, but I think that they'll look at that one and they'll be very disappointed not to get that one.
Right, let's have a look at it then before we take a break, because it's such a huge talking point. Ashley Young, given on field. Right, you go first, Tim.
Well, for me, it's a penalty. You just have a look here after the spill. De Ligt, the 2 shirt pulls, and then Harry Maguire's left arm across his hip. This is a really good look at this. De Ligt, he's got the grips with his shirt there once, twice, he goes down.
Yeah. You know, look, there it is. There it is. I'm not sure if he actually saw that.
So the big question now is, Michael, how have VAR, so Matt Donoghue in VAR, deemed this a clear and obvious error and sent the referee, Andy Madley, to the screen?
Because they've not looked at the right angle, in my opinion. If everything, which it is, if everything that we've just seen in real time during the game, if that's the angle that the referee's being given, then I don't blame the referee for saying, no, that doesn't look like... But he's not been given the angle. He needs to be given that angle from behind the goal, the high behind. Zoomed in. From that angle, it just looks like a dive. I agree with the referee. Can't give a penalty on that evidence. The VAR has let the referee down, in my opinion, there. He's not given him all the various angles that you need to form a full opinion of whether that's a foul or not. He's given him one angle across the 18-yard box. and given it him about 10 times.
Yeah.
You can see that after one replay. Show the whole lot. Give them the 3, 4, 5 angles that we've got hundreds.
This
of
one is the only one he needs,
game.
Mike.
This is the only one he needs, and it's the only one he doesn't get. He could have had the one from behind the goal as well. See that camera in the net? Bottom left there, in the net. He could have had that one as well. This one. He could have had that one as well. There's 2 angles that showed the shirt pull. Not one of them, not one of the replays showed the shirt pull. And he's just going from side on when it didn't look. He's going from this one every single time. Doesn't look like a foul. Don't blame him for not giving it on VAR.
Crazy.
VAR is to blame, not the referee, not the referee at all. The VAR didn't give him the right angle.
Who's on VAR? That's who's to blame.
Look, if he saw all of those, he clearly wouldn't have said that that's a clear and obvious error. It's a penalty, so.
And listen, it was a really exaggerated dive by Ashley. Let's get it right. It was the worst dive ever. He's pulled his shirt and his legs have gone over. It was the worst dive ever. But Ashley Young is amazing at it. So whether it's a penalty or not, I'm sort of still debating. It was a tiny tug. Was it a pen? Was it or not? What I'm most disappointed at is the referee hasn't been given
the clearest
chance
angles
to make an informed decision. That's what's got my goat.
Okay, and we can tell that. And if he'd seen that particular angle, you would think he wouldn't deem that clear and obvious.
Yeah, but when we saw that, because like we said, we thought the dive was really acrobatic. But like when we saw this, we thought, once he sees this.
If you're sent to the monitor and see this, which he didn't, you stay with your decision, righty, do you?
Probably, yeah. You would, because when you look at it from that angle, like Tim said, even Harry Maguire's hands around him, it doesn't look like it's nowhere enough to make Ashley react like he did. But those two, Ashley's felt the pulls, and that's why he's gone down.
Do you know what would have happened, righty, is he wouldn't have gone to the monitor. VAR didn't see that.
Yeah.
And so VAR would have looked at it and thought, shirt pull, then, OK, if that's what you thought, then they wouldn't have even sent
How haven't they seen that when we've seen
believe that?
He just kept looking at the same angle. I'm like, please, show the next one, show the next one. And 10 replays later, same one, and they've not even... And then 30 seconds later, we've started watching the game again, and all of a sudden... This is what they said. They just kept showing this. He just kept watching this and watching it again and watching it again. It's like, I've seen it once. Now show me 2 or 3 different angles. Didn't show it at all.
Wow.
Is the referee not inclined to ask VAR, do you have another angle?
Well, he should have another angle. Yeah, he should.
Yeah, but
that's a good point.
But you say that.
But he's trusting the VAR.
Yeah, that's true. Because as a referee, you're in charge of that. You're going to show him every angle. Yeah. So he's got a great opportunity to make the right decision. I cannot believe that.
If you're the referee looking at that side on, you're probably thinking, oh yeah, he hasn't. He is a dive because his legs go up, and you can quite clearly see he's not touched his legs. So you probably think.
David Moyes and Ruben Amorim can testify to the difficulties of walking in Sir Alex Ferguson's footsteps. The most famous comment made by Manchester United's most decorated manager came after his most celebrated comeback. Football, bloody hell? As 2 of his successors met, this seemed another case of it, a fight back that, like Ferguson's against Bayern Munich in 1999, was remarkable in part because it felt inexplicable, because United were out of sorts, outclassed, seemingly out for the count. After 70 minutes of their final visit to Goodison Park, there was a temptation to say this was a new low for United, yet another one. Their XG was 0.04, meaning that statistically they would have had to play for more than 29 hours to create chances equivalent to 1 goal. The performance was ponderous. Casemiro had seemed to cover less ground on the Goodison Park pitch than Kevin Sheedy did when inducted into Everton's Hall of Fame at half-time. Amorim had picked the wrong team, omitting Alejandro Garnacho. Moyes was justifying his United counterpart's pre-match assertion that the Scot is doing the better job. Which, in the broader scheme of things, is still very true. Much of Everton's display was testament to Moyes' transformative effect. Much of United's was atrocious. They nevertheless emerged with a point apiece. It was testament in part to the catalytic prowess of Bruno Fernandes and his refusal to accept a defeat that his teammates seemed resigned to. In the first half, we didn't exist, said Amorim. The free man was there, I think the space was there, we lose balls we cannot lose. He detected slight improvement thereafter, but, with 20 minutes remaining their XG was still 0.04. Then Fernandes' free kick flew past a static Jordan Pickford. The free kick changes the momentum, lamented Moyes. Then a second free kick from the United captain was headed away by Beto, but only as far as Manuel Ugarte. He took one touch on his chest. The second was volleyed past Pickford for his first United goal. Out of nothing, they were level. Which was not the same as saying there was no offence. I was surprised that the referee was sent to VAR, said Moyes. Ashley Young's jersey is undoubtedly pulled. I thought the referee made the correct decision at the time and he should stick with it. And yet there was an element of confusion. Young's shirt was tugged by Matthijs de Ligt, but the Premier League's official reasoning was that there was no foul by Harry Maguire, who also tangled with the veteran. Everton had relished the late drama on their previous outing at Goodison Park, not this time. We played here and drew 2-2 against Liverpool and it felt like a win, said Moyes. Today's 2-2 felt not like a defeat, but close to it. This was very different to the Merseyside derby, even if one common denominator was a melee after the final whistle.